probably not wish he had comments.
Good evening. Excuse me. I just want to let everybody know we're waiting for a board member due to the parking situation outside. I guess there's something going on at the library. He's about 10 minutes away, so the hearing will get started shortly. So, okay.
All right. All right. Thanks for everyone's patience tonight. Welcome to the regular meeting of the City of Bethlehem Zoning Board. My name is Pete Schneck, and I'll be serving as chairman. Serving tonight alongside of me is Paige Van Wart and Sharon Wiles Young. Our zoning officer tonight is Mr. David Taylor. Our solicitor tonight is Attorney Steve Boel. Our stenographer tonight is Moira Evans. At this time, if anybody plans on speaking, I'd like for you to stand and get sworn in.
This is for all matters. If you're planning on testifying in any case tonight, please stand and be sworn in.
Please raise your right hands. You do swear or affirm that the testimony which you shall give in the matter now before this board shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You do so swear or affirm? Thank you.
All right. Our first our appeal tonight is 230 West 3rd Street and 232 West 3rd Street.
Applicant Church Nativity seeks a pair of special exceptions and a variance to expand the number of dwelling units in two non-conforming residential properties located in the central business district. 230 West 3rd Street from an existing 2-dwelling unit property to a proposed 3-dwelling unit property. And 232 West 3rd Street from an existing single-family semi-detached dwelling to a proposed 3-dwelling unit conversion. A variance is required for 232 West 3rd Street. They need 3,000 square feet of habitable floor area to begin with. They only have 2,957 square feet of habitable floor area existing. Sections 1302.49, 1305.001A, 1322.030, 1322.0306, 1325.06, 1325.07, and all associated variances, special exceptions, and interpretations. And then for the board, also included in your packet is a memo authored by Kathy Fletcher, the Director of Planning and Zoning for the City of Bethlehem, expressing and discussing the Planning Bureau's support for the project, the objectives of rehabbing the houses, and furthering the objective of affordable and transitional housing.
All right. And before we get started, can you just please confirm when the property was posted?
The property was posted last Monday.
Can you state your name, please?
My name's Anna Smith.
Thank you.
All right. And you can proceed with your testimony.
Okay, my name is Christine Usler. I've worked with the church on and off over many years and have been involved with this project actually through Lehigh University. We've taken on the project to look at how to, with the students, learning how to design multiple units in a row home like these row homes. And then I offered to help present this to you today. So it's a little bit of a tag team between Anna and myself. She developed a nice narrative here about a little bit about the history of these 2-row homes with the church. The church has had them for some time, and the reason originally, I believe, was to take them down so they could get more parking. And with my involvement with historic properties within the city as a former historic officer, someone reached out to me just to see if that might be viable, and I advised that probably would not be. And ultimately, the church, through various, a fair amount of time, and got involved with CALV and CADB, and it was determined that these houses could certainly be rehabbed. And then with Lehigh University, where I've taught in the past, I was involved with the Small Cities Lab, and Wes Hyatt and Anna talked about having students work on the homes. And so last semester in the spring, the students measured the buildings and then designed apartments for the units. And so what you see in the packet today, we have the existing plans, and then we have a student developed scheme that would have 3 units in each of these homes. And it is viable with some additions to the rear that would probably be historically appropriate and could be done. And so in alignment with the church, New Bethany, and CAGB and CALV, I'd like to provide moderate cost rental apartments and add that to the housing stock for Bethlehem. And so that is what is driving this proposal. Now, I'm not sure if you need anything else from me on this, but very open to answering any questions.
Well, what other witnesses will be testifying as to what?
I believe there are a few people here who would like to support the project.
All right, so I mean, the one thing you need to address is you're seeking a special exception. You're
Right.
seeking a variance.
Yes.
Did you come ready tonight to present evidence on the requirements for the special exception?
When you say evidence, I'm not quite sure I know.
Testimony, there's a list of things you need to prove to get the special exception in the zoning ordinance. And then for the variance, there's things you need to prove to get the variance.
Okay, so
So I can try and.
can you help coach me through that?
I can't,
I'm sorry.
I can't coach anyone through anything.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I represent them, not you. If the board wants me to ask a few questions, I can ask a few questions.
Yes, please.
Okay. So the first requirement, I want to make sure, Dave, I mean, I'm looking at section 1322 of the zoning ordinance, section O, the conversion of any single family dwelling to additional number of dwelling units. That's the requirements we're looking at, correct?
Correct.
All right. So the first requirement is, or the first question is, how many units are proposed within each building?
So within each building is proposed to have 3 units.
So 3 units, that requires 900 square feet. Are you in compliance with that?
We are over that.
Good. Each dwelling unit shall, after conversion, contain within the unit a complete kitchen, toilet, and bathing facilities. Do you comply with that?
Yes.
The use shall not be permitted unless the property owner provides the entire building for inspection by the city code enforcement officials to inspect the entire building for compliance with the city codes prior to the issuance of the zoning permit. Will you comply with that requirement?
Absolutely.
The yard, building area, and other applicable requirements for the district shall not be reduced. The same minimum lot area per dwelling unit shall be met as if the building would be newly constructed with the proposed number of units. You comply with all those other dimensional requirements, correct?
Yes.
No exterior structural alterations of the building shall be made except as may be necessary for purposes of sanitation, safety, or historic rehabilitation, or any other exterior.
So to accommodate the 3 units, there would be a shed dormer at the back. So any addition would be actually in the same footprint. But to accommodate the 3 units, there would have to be some additional work on that 3rd level.
Do you believe that that would be consistent with sanitation, safety, or historic rehabilitation?
Yes.
Such conversion shall be authorized only if a large pre-existing detached or semi-detached building, which you kind of talked about. If the building is currently a 1-family dwelling, it shall not be converted to 2 or more dwelling units unless the building included more than 3,000 square feet of habitable area. That's the variance you're seeking.
That is the variance.
Plans showing the proposed rearrangement of the interior of the building and provisions for off-street parking spaces, including the proposed entrance and exit to such parking spaces, shall be provided. Can you provide the board with evidence relating to the parking?
I'm sorry, I don't have a plan of that, but there are.
You just testify.
Um,
She asked, if other people provide evidence, you have your chance.
There are the churches in the process of reworking The Shawnee building is approved for demolition. I believe it's approved. That large building will be coming down and a surface parking lot is to be constructed. And the site plan that they have that they're working from includes four spaces for the homes. So there'll be 4 off-street parking spaces provided by the church. And I believe in the CV district, there's no parking required, but the church is planning to have at least 4 spaces provided.
And then in accordance with Article 13, 4710 of the Saldo, every newly created residential unit shall pay a recreation fee in accordance with the City of Bethlehem fee schedule. You will pay that recreation fee, correct?
I would assume so. I don't know what that fee is, but I would assume that would be part of the development.
Candidly, neither do I, but we're just going to say
Yes.
we're going to pay the fee.
Yes.
And you testified with regard to the variance. How many square feet is how many square feet of habitable area?
We currently,
Yeah.
the number is in here. I'm sorry.
Notice.
It is 2,957.
So it's
It's very, very close to
a
that
very
3,000.
nominal amount.
Yeah.
Is it your opinion that that variance will have any adverse impact on the health, safety, the community in any way?
No, I think it actually will be an improvement.
Yeah. So you said you're here the system. I mean, what's your role relative to it?
I am an architect,
an architect.
and
Okay.
a firm will probably be developing the architectural drawings for the project.
Yeah. What firm are you with?
Artifact.
Okay. Thank you. Pete, that's all the questions I have for her.
All right. Open it up for questions.
I don't have any.
I just was gonna ask about, thank you for thinking about parking. So you think there'll be 4?
Yes, this church has at least 4. That I know for sure.
Okay,
Yeah, that would be dedicated.
thank you.
And you understand that if you ultimately do not have that parking, that they would have to come back for additional zoning relief.
That if that's part of this, I think the church will be fine with that. But I think that those 4 places are planned.
Wait, can I ask a question? This is in CB though, so
Correct.
essential business, no
Oh,
parking
Right,
required.
yeah. So there's
Okay.
no parking required, but, and also I can add the plan that Ms. Usler is referring to is currently in my office for review, for
Okay.
removing the building and constructing that parking lot.
Great.
Thank you.
Do you plan to have like do you have like a site plan, or is there going to be a dumpster for these people, or is everyone in charge of their own waste?
So I have not thought that through at the moment, but there would be at the back, I believe, a potential for toters to be back there for each unit. I am sure that will be something that we develop as we go further.
Do we have to go through these questions?
Yeah, so they do. Well, so there's a few more questions that
Okay.
I think we're going to ask you. So first, you testified that the variance being requested is very small. Are there any unique physical circumstances or conditions relating to the property, the condition of the property, the size of the property? It's one of the requirements
Yeah.
for a variance typically is that there be some hardship relating to the property. What would that hardship be?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
Not
I mean,
sure.
it's, I didn't really think about it that way since it was such a small amount. So I guess
But you said it's a relatively nominal variance.
that's right.
And the buildings are in some degree of disrepair, is that correct?
They are, yes. And we want to get them back into productive service.
Okay, so the second requirement is that because of those conditions, the properties cannot reasonably be developed. You need the variances in order to develop one of them for this use, which you testified is reasonable. That the applicant did not create the hardship.
Right.
This is how the houses came to them. The variance will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood in which it is, or substantially impair the appropriate use or development of the properties nearby.
Correct.
That the variance if authorized will be the minimum variances that will afford relief.
Yes.
That the development, in your opinion, is consistent with the comprehensive plan and the spirit and purpose of the zoning ordinance.
Absolutely.
that it is in the best interest of Bethlehem, the convenience of the community, the public welfare,
Yes.
that it is suitable for the property in question and designed, constructed, and will be operated to be maintained in harmony with the appropriate appearance and character of the neighborhood,
Yes.
that it's in conformance of all other requirements of the ordinance,
Yes. Will.
that the proposed use shall not substantially alter the character, you said that before, that it's suitable in terms of the effects on streets, traffic, safety, and sidewalks,
Yes. It's.
that the proposed use will not create any significant hazard as to the public health, safety, and welfare, including fire, toxic or hazardous materials,
It will not. Yeah.
and that the proposed use is suitable considering the disturbance of steep slopes. There's no steep slopes.
I mean, there's some topography there at the back, but it's existing and there's not much we can do with it.
But not anything environmentally sensitive on the property.
No.
No mature woodlands, no wetlands, no floodplains, no springs or anything of that nature.
No.
All right. This time,
I do have one other thing just to mention is that the houses have gone to the Historic Review Board for facade improvements to the front and the side of the 232. So to make the homes even more in concert with the rest of the row, the porches will be renovated to have similar brick piers and tapered posts. Repairs to the concrete porch floor areas where needed. The roofs will be redone with appropriate shingles. Windows will be replaced, and these homes will start to enhance this really unique row.
I guess another question. These properties have been vacant.
They have been vacant. I don't know the exact number of years, but it's probably 10 or so.
Multiple years. And
Yeah.
has there been a struggle finding a use for these buildings, like someone to use the buildings?
They've been in very poor condition for a long time. And I think the church had different ideas of what they wanted to do with them at first, and then has come around to realize that these buildings could be rehabbed and are now proposing to do that.
All right. Any other questions? All right, at this time, any questions from the audience?
I have a site plan if you want to see it.
If you have a hard copy of it, I mean, you can submit it at the board. We really can't take a picture of it if it's not going to be into the record.
I have one, but it's at home.
Is the testimony accurate?
Well, hold on. So let's get his. So right now, what we're doing is questions for her. So if you want to make a statement later on, when you introduce yourself, yeah, I'm sorry, Peter.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
No, sorry, just trying to
yeah. I'm listening.
didn't interrupt. So any questions for her?
All right, at this time, anybody can make a statement.
Or if you have any other witnesses?
Or, yeah.
When you come to the dais, please identify yourself by name and spell your name.
My name's Lee Snyder, and I'm a parishioner at the Cathedral Church of the Nativity, who currently are owners of these two row homes.
And so your address as well.
2651 Main Street, Bethlehem.
Go ahead.
Okay. And I actually been working with Terraform Engineering Company, and right now the alley, Hastings Street, off of Hastings Street, there'll be 2 dedicated parking spaces for each of the 2 row homes. And then across on the south side of Hastings Street will be 3 additional spaces that will be used for parishioners or New Bethany. And then we're proposing a 23 space parking lot also, where in place of the Shawnee building. So there should be adequate room for parking. Okay. As far as the hardship, I mean, for the church to just renovate these as row homes, it would be very expensive. And we reached out to CALV and the city, and so funding through grants and things like that will enable us to make them into multiple family housing, which will be the landlord will be us, the church, and then the property manager and leasing agent would be New Bethany. So we think it's a win-win situation. Okay.
All right. Anybody else?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Father John Stratton. I am the Dean of the Cathedral Church of the Nativity. My address is 523 Smiley Avenue in Fountain Hill. And one of the reasons why I have a Fountain Hill address is because when my family and I moved here about 2.5 years ago, we could not find housing in South Bethlehem, which was what we really wanted to do. And so I can't speak to the technical aspects of the zoning variances and all the hard work that Lee has done, but I can speak to the moral and ethical obligation to use this property for the good of the community and for affordable housing right here in South Bethlehem. Because like I said, moved here 2.5 years ago, wanted to live in South Bethlehem, but there just wasn't enough housing available there. And so I encourage you to go ahead with this zoning variance so that we can use this property for the good of the community, helps the mission of the church, and I think it helps the neighborhood as well. So thank you.
Hi, I'm the Reverend Marianne Sturges, and I am a priest at the Cathedral Church of the Nativity as well. And I also have the pleasure of living at the church. There is a residence there. And so these houses, I walk by them every day. I see them there. It's my neighborhood. And it pains me how terrible they look right now. And I'm excited that we're going to be able to work in collaboration with CALV and with New Bethany to turn what is a blight in our neighborhood into 6 units so that 6 more people will be able to afford housing in Bethlehem. And I know that housing costs are out of control right now in Bethlehem. Luckily, I live in a place where I don't have to pay for housing, but if I'd had to move here and pay for housing, I have no idea where my husband and our daughter would be living because it is impossible. And I'm excited that we can be partnering with other nonprofits in the city to start addressing that problem. So I encourage you to approve these zoning variances. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? All right. Oh.
Hi, how are you? My name is Louis Intile. I'm a principal at Fifth Street Properties here in Bethlehem, and I'm also a member of the CALV Housing Committee, CALV Steering Committee, and the Southside Arts District Advisory Board. I've worked with the committee and Anna on this project and the concept of the project. First and foremost, I want to thank the church for their generosity and forward thinking in attacking an affordable housing issue in the city of Bethlehem, but also thinking about an adaptive reuse for properties that they already had. Walking by these properties, you can see they're in a considerable disrepair. And the cost to renovate, I've probably renovated through over the last decade 125 to 130 properties within the city, and have a very good understanding of construction costs. And it's quite challenging to renovate and restore old properties and leaving them as single family homes. In addition to that, I think from a gateway perspective to the city, with Chris Usler's expertise and the amount of money that will be put into the restoration of these, this is a key block between across the street from the Perkins, and it's actually in the historic district. And from what we found is our renovations along 4th Street and other parts of the city is when you make a considerable investment in a row of homes, the neighbors will then see, and you see that progression. So I think as a gateway street to the city, this will also help surrounding properties invest and make a better entrance to the city. So as a individual that spends a lot of time in the city of Bethlehem, I support this project.
All right. Anyone else? All right. This time we'll go off the record. And we'll be back. Thank you. All right. Go back on the record.
A little slow to come up.
All right. We'll go back on the record. If I can have a motion from one of the members of the board.
Sure. I move to approve this plan as submitted.
Second.
Mr. Schneck,
Yes.
Ms. Wiles Young,
Yes.
Dr. Van Wert.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
All relief has been granted. You'll get a written decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck on your project. All right. Next appeal up is 1423 Maple Street.
Do you think?
No, no, this is. Applicants Jesse Capella and Tom Kramer on behalf of Indigo Investments LLC seek a dimensional variance to locate a two-family detached dwelling on a proposed lot with less than the required lot width. 60 feet required, 42.6 feet proposed. Sections 302.40, 1306.01A4, 1326.06, and all associated variances, special exceptions, and interpretations.
All right. Before we get started, can you confirm when your property was posted?
So the property was posted twice, once around September 8th and then again on September 9th, both posted in the lot as well as in the window of the residence.
All right.
And I sent photos to Mr. Taylor in that regard.
All right. You can proceed with your testimony.
Good evening. My name is Victor Scamilio. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Indigo Investments LLC. And what we have before you tonight is my client's own, what I will call an oversized lot in the RT residential, high density residential district in Bethlehem at 1423 Maple Street. The lot currently is over, excuse me, 12,000 square feet with an existing dwelling and garage on it. My client is looking to subdivide the property, and what you have before you is a detail of the sketch of the property and the proposed subdivision. My client is seeking a variance of I think it's actually 17.43 feet to put a two-family home on the what we'll call Lot 2, where in the vacant lot. The lot itself is large enough that it could accept other permitted uses, such as a 6 or 8 unit multifamily home. You will hear from my clients that they do not wish to put such a structure in this neighborhood. Instead seeks a two-family unit there that will accommodate 5 parking spaces in the alley. And will not need any relief other than the lot width, lot size, dwelling units, setbacks. All of those would be in compliance with the ordinance. And with that, I will turn to a representative from Indigo Investments, Mr. Jesse Chapella, and ask him just to state his name for the record.
It's Jesse Chapella, Chupella.
And Mr. Chapella, are you a member of Indigo Investments?
Yes, I am.
Who is the other member of Indigo Investments?
My partner, Tom Kramer.
And he is here in the audience helping us with the phone boards if needed for the presentation.
Yep.
And you and Mr. Kramer, what are your primary occupations?
We're actually realtors. So we own a Home Team Real Estate in Bethlehem.
In Bethlehem?
Yes.
Okay. And you also own Indigo Investments, LLC?
Correct.
Okay. And you purchased 1423 Maple Street when?
Oh, to be honest, approximately 2 months ago. That's
Okay.
one thing I didn't have in front of me.
That's right. And what is the approximate size of the existing lot?
It's 13,000 square feet.
And what is on the existing lot?
There's a 1-story single family home.
And if we look at the street view of the home or of the property, there is the existing property, and then when you're looking at it to your left, essentially an open lot.
Correct.
And what are you looking to do with that empty lot?
So we what drew us to the property was the oversized lot. We bought it knowing we could rightfully put a 3-story, at least 6-unit apartment building there. There's another one down the street. We were going to kind of take a note off of that model. We thought a more compatible use would be to separate it, keep the home, and put a 2-story, single family 2-unit dwelling that has all the appearances of a single family home on the space instead, and keep the existing home intact.
And you, in fact, have a rendering of the style of home you intend to construct. I believe it's Exhibit 3.
Yes. It should be,
And if not, I think we have that on the phone board. There it is. And this is actually a two-family home.
It is, yeah. But
So-
I mean, it's designed to have the appearance of a single family. So it's a
So
first
can
floor.
you explain that?
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a first and second floor duplex. The entry to the first floor is that front door you're looking at, and the entry to the second floor would be on the right side.
Okay. And that's the style in which you would commit to building on this property.
Yes.
All right. Now, what is the layout of the individual units? I believe we have floor plans as Exhibit 4.
Yeah, they're essentially both 2-bedroom, 2-bath units, and it would be built on a slab with no basement.
Do you know the approximate square footage of each of the units?
The first floor, I believe, is 13 and change, and the second floor is, I could tell you, first floor is 1370, and the second floor is 1502.
Right. And one of the concerns always is parking. And I believe in Exhibit 1, our plan. And before the board, I have the plan that was actually sealed. It is same as what you'll see in Exhibit 1, but it is actually the sealed plan. Does Lot 2 accommodate parking?
It does, yes.
And how many spaces does Lot 2 accommodate?
We would have 5 spaces in the rear. Or
And
4
5 spaces in the rear, and you only need 4?
Correct.
So you would have 1 extra spot. The existing property and structure already has a garage?
It does, has a 2-car detached garage.
Okay. And so you would maintain that garage for the Lot 1 and add 5 spaces for Lot 2?
Yeah, can I correct myself? We're adding 4 spaces to the rear. The fifth space is there's currently an apron cut into Maple Street. We'd be eliminating that apron, solid curb. So we'd be adding one on-street parking space.
Okay, so when we looked at the street view, there was actually a curb cut and it looked like the entrance to a driveway. You would be eliminating that.
Correct.
Okay. And when you had the plan developed, you realized that the lot width in the front is 14.53 feet, correct? Did I have my numbers here right?
No.
14.57 feet or 42.57.
42.57 would be the width we're requesting.
Okay. And the width needed in that district is?
For a 2-family, it's 60 feet.
So that's the variance needed of the 17.43 feet.
Correct.
Okay. And you've purchased the property, you looked at the neighborhood, correct?
Correct.
And can you tell me about some of the other housing in the neighborhood?
It's mainly single-family homes. This is a much larger lot. It's 13,000 square feet. The average lot size throughout that block of Maple Street is about 6,100 square feet. Across the street to the left, you have 3 lots that are single-family homes with 25 foot in width. One that's
Let me stop you for a second. In this stretch of Maple Street, the average lot size is how big?
about 6,150 square feet.
And Lot 2 will be
6,000.
6,000 square feet. So you're within that average range.
Correct.
Okay, sorry, please continue.
Directly behind us, we have the old Cassadon Realty office, 1420 Easton Avenue. It's just across the alley from us. That's a 35-foot wide lot with 3 apartment units. And I'm not sure what the parking they have is.
Okay. I believe we also submitted an exhibit that has some of the details of some of the other properties in the neighborhood. It's either Exhibit 6 or 7. Well, we'll start with it. We can start
Okay.
with that one. That's fine. What is that a photograph of?
That's an example. That's going. That's under construction in the 1500 block of Maple Street now. I believe that's going on a similarly sized lot, slightly smaller than our lot. But that would be a project that we would consider building by right.
That's a 3-story, 6-unit building
Correct.
that you could put on this lot without any zoning relief needed.
Correct.
but you're here because you believe the subdivision and the smaller
I
duplex.
think keeping the home and putting the duplex in is a more compatible but still equitable use of the property.
And then you also have an exhibit with the neighborhood and some surrounding properties. That's the front. It would be, maybe it's exhibit 6, I'm sorry, 5.
It's 5.
Yep. There you go. Okay, sorry about that. What are these?
That's standing on the sidewalk directly across the street from the lot, from the property.
So from your property, looking right across the street, there are numbers. The top numbers are the street numbers,
Correct.
and then the bottom numbers are the lot width?
The frontage, yes.
Okay. So across the street, a 25, 325s, and then a 35-foot width.
Correct.
In front of you. So the dimensional relief you are seeking is compatible with the neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay. And actually be wider than those that are here across the street from you?
Correct.
And the parking, I forgot. The parking is accessible in the rear by the alley.
It is.
Okay. And you would have your tenants be able to use all of those?
Yes.
Those lots.
They would be dedicated to the units.
Okay. Now, questions that come up will be about hardship and the uniqueness of this lot. And I think we've talked about that to some degree, but this is a lot that is, how would you describe it for the board? Probably easier.
And it's inherently a large lot in a high density zoning district to 13,000 square feet. So the hardship is, an equitable use for the space.
Right.
It's more than double the average size.
And that the request you're seeking provides less stress in the neighborhood than what could be permitted by right.
Absolutely.
And you're committed to building on the envelope that was presented in Exhibit 1, meaning that no other zoning relief would be needed for any other dimensional relief.
Correct. Meets all setbacks. And
Okay. A question that I forgot to ask, the parking in the back. How would your tenants go from the parking area to the house? How would they access the house?
There'd be a concrete walk with a couple steps up because of the grade. The first floor will have a patio entrance to the back. They could access, directly from their cars. And the second floor, their main entry is right on the side. So
second floor enters on the side. They'll have the one access door.
correct.
The first floor will have 2. We'll have the
Correct.
front sidewalk,
Yep.
as well as the rear access.
Yes.
Anything else you would like to tell the board in your request for relief?
No, it's a good summary.
I have no other questions of Mr. Chappella.
Questions from members of the board?
What used to be there? There's a curb cut. So did there used to be a home there? What?
So,
All right.
So he has to answer it now. You'll have a chance to make a statement later.
to my knowledge, maybe the curb cut was just there for use. I know the prior owner, from talking to the neighbor, home's been in the family since, the 60s. They parked an RV there on the lot. They just used it for. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And I was just going to clarify from the drawing of the architect's drawing of what you're going to build there. Is there any slope that you have to deal with on this lot?
There is about a 3-foot difference in grade that we will from the right side to the left side, but it's minor in nature.
And you're committing to building this building as rendered here?
Yes.
And I think I read somewhere that you also committed to no loss of the street trees, specifically that plane tree that's there.
Correct.
Okay.
You guys talked about having the right to build an apartment building, but I think you'd also be able to build a single home.
We
under the
we
ordinance.
would. It would not be an equitable use of the space to put a single family there, as far as just cost prohibitive.
All right.
The 6-unit would make a lot more sense for us.
And then, but you can make the double work.
Keeping the existing home and making the double makes a little bit more sense, correct?
Okay. Questions? Any other questions over here? Questions from members of the audience? And this is questions for Mr. Japella.
This is a question. The one picture appeared to
sir,
show
can I get your name?
Joel Hoffner, 1806
I'm sorry,
East Hill Drive,
I didn't hear your last name.
Bethlehem.
Can I have your last name again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry, my hearing is very.
Sir, please repeat your last name and spell it.
Joel Hoffner, Hoffner. One picture front on showed a stairway going between the existing building and the lot that you're going to build on, which obviously implies a grade change.
Sure.
Today, I would assume the runoff gets absorbed by the lot to the left. Have you given good thought to how you're going to drain properly with the new building in place?
So with the new building, there's not going to be a huge addition. I mean, we would certainly approach that in the building phase, and we'd comply with whatever the building and planning department.
Well, I'm not an environmental person, but I know that grass absorbs water a hell of a lot better than not cement and concrete. You may have to consider some way of properly draining that property. I would feel more comfortable if I knew that was the case.
Sir, so we're doing questions right now. Okay, so if you want to make a statement later on, I would just ask them factual questions.
Sure.
You have a chance to come back up if you want to.
That's okay. Understood. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
I may be able to add some information from my client that can do that.
Your client.
Mr. Japella, the question regarding drainage, and I think you started to give this response. In the land development phase, you would comply with any and all requirements
Absolutely.
from the city regarding the drainage and stormwater issue.
Absolutely.
And that's usually brought up in the land development
Sure.
phase of this.
All right. Any other questions from the audience?
Yeah, Bob Fire, 1427 Elm Street, FYRER. Looks like dividing a lot. What was the reason for the odd division of the lot? Because that's going to potentially cause neighbor conflict down the road.
To accommodate for the parking.
Was it the parking or was it to get the square footage of the lot over a certain amount?
Well, both, but mainly the
Okay.
parking.
So we could have built a one single family here with no problem, but we're adjusting the lot just to get the square footage for the two family.
The square.
And that's a
footage
financial decision, I'm assuming?
And the parking, correct.
Okay, so it is square footage and parking as well as financial decision to go with two family versus one. Can you share the business plan on the financials with the neighborhood?
No.
Okay, got to ask. That's all the questions for now.
All right. Any other questions from the audience? All right. You have any questions? Do you have any other witnesses?
No other witnesses, no.
All right. Any statements from the audience?
Yeah, again, Bob Fire, 1427 Elm Street, FYRER. So my only plea to the board is you guys do a lot around Bethlehem, making sure everything looks good. The neighborhoods are intact. We have North Side alive. We have the initiatives on South Side. These small neighborhoods are often forgotten. To put a two-family in the midst of a single-family neighborhood changes the dynamic of the neighborhood. we have to consider that as we're developing. You guys are developers. You develop all over the valley. You've sold houses all over the valley. You have the opportunity to come in. You knew what was here before you bought the property. And when I heard you earlier, you basically threatened us that if this doesn't go through, we're going to put a 6-family apartment in. The one up the street and the 1500 block of Maple, that's atrocious for the neighborhood. Let me tell you, I don't know how that was approved. It's awful for the neighborhood. To even be able to consider that in this district, we got to do something. It's all about Bethlehem. You guys are here to serve the residents. You're here to serve us. Please do the right thing.
Just before you go, I mean, I'm hearing from you that the apartment building is atrocious.
It's an eyesore in that neighborhood. It
But
doesn't fit in.
So unfortunately, I guess it's permitted by the zoning. Like it wouldn't even
So
come
we,
before us.
we need to look at the zoning in the neighborhoods before the building permits are done.
In your opinion, if you had to choose between the 6 apartment building or the
Oh, this hands down amongst the 6 apartment building.
okay,
Hands down, but there's truly no reason to do it. They bought the property knowing there was a house there, and they would have had to come for a variance to do anything else, and they have another option.
well,
So,
I
of
think
a
that's- I think
single
that's-
unit dwelling.
I think that's what they're testifying to is they would not have to come here to build the apartment building.
Yeah, and that's a problem with city ordinance there, that we can
Yeah.
take and do that in a neighborhood like this. And
Right.
that's something from a city we need to really look at. So
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? All right.
So, sir, are you wanted to make a statement? You're good?
All right. This time we'll go off the record.
Hold on. So Victor, anything else from you guys?
No, no, I think that the board understands the issue and the facts before it in the RT district here.
Now we'll go off the record.
There you go.
Check.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go back on the record. I can have a motion from a member of the board.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the dimensional variance as requested with the conditions of building the building as rendered in this presentation, as well as maintaining the presence of the street tree as is here.
Thank you.
Second, I'll second. Yeah.
Mr. Schneck,
Yes.
Dr. Van Wert,
Yes.
Ms. Wiles Young,
Yes.
motion carries unanimously.
Steve is what you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good luck.
I never knew this before.
Jesse, are you
I thought it said Steve.
No, it says
Hey, you too, man.
Consistent.
Who's hollering out? The guy in the red t-shirt and the black hat?
He knew about the RV.
I actually cleaned this form up tomorrow morning.
That was my nemesis in the game of 24. You know the math game?
24.
You know, it's the math game.
24.
Oh my God. Sounds nerdy.
It's like 4 numbers on a little card. You have to like make them add up to 24.
Oh, I do remember that. Oh, I'm sorry. I do remember that. Oh.
How old are you? I feel like it was a little bit more fun.
I'm 49.
All right, so I'm old. I'm younger. So.
Thanks for still on.
With the record to reflect, I'm 49 years old.
I just didn't know where the conversation was going.
Oh.
Um,
All right. Oh,
I'm 49. He's a geek. So.
I think we're ready for the next appeal at 1751 Johnston Drive.
1751 Johnston Drive, the appeal of Elizabeth, and I apologize if I don't get the right last name correct, Elizabeth Alonso Poguero,
Yes.
on behalf of Alberto Clases for a special exception to operate a family daycare in a single-family detached dwelling, which permits 7 to 12 children. Sections 1306.36, 1322.03, 1325.07, and all associated variances, special exceptions, and interpretations. And with the application, the board also has an email that I sent to the applicant. I had given her erroneous information out of our counter, and when I was helping her, we were going over filling out the application. In fact, the special exception only permits 4 to 6 children in the RS zoning district for a family daycare. I had erroneously told her it was 7 to 12, and I have clarified that with her and included that email.
And you're okay with that?
Yes.
So you're seeking a special exception for 4 to 6 children,
Yes.
4 to 6.
and the board, as the board knows, that she has the ability to amend the application subject to your approval, and I hear no objection. The board should also be advised that we received through the city an email from a Mr. Arcalay and opposing this. However, since that is hearsay and the person did not attend, the board is not legally permitted to consider that evidence.
All right, and can you confirm when your property was posted?
September 5th.
All right, and you can proceed with your testimony.
I really want to do this.
Ma'am, can you do me a favor?
Oh.
Just pull the mic a little bit closer.
Okay. Here, can you hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
All right. So I took the decision to open a daycare, like family childcare, because I do have kids, and it's been really difficult for me to find childcare. Basically, for my daughter, it's really expensive. So I've been working in the medical field for a few, and basically, I didn't have the time to go on time to get the baby, pick it up because of my schedule. It's been very difficult to find like the schedule I need for now. My husband is a truck driver. He don't work here to help me. He work in New Jersey. So basically I'm by myself with the kids. And because of that, I said, okay, I was reading about, I took, it was a good idea because I already working with special need kids and adults. So I understand that I know how to deal with kids because it's not the same taking care of your kids, your own, than others. So been working on this gave me like the idea to do it, but from my house.
All right, so with the board's indulgence, like earlier, I'd like to walk the applicant through the requirements of the ordinance. So ma'am, you're here tonight for a special exception, and there's certain things under the zoning ordinance that the board must consider in deciding whether or not to grant your application. So I'm gonna go one requirement at a time and just answer truthfully and as we go through. The first is that it is an accessory use to a dwelling unit. This is your home in which you're operating it. This is you
Yes.
live in this building, correct?
Yes.
Number two is that the number of children shall apply in addition to the children related to the caregiver. Do you have any? You said you have kids. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Mhm.
So you're allowed that number in addition to your own children.
Yes. And I have someone that will be with me.
Good.
Mhm.
The dwelling shall retain a residential appearance with no change to the exterior of the dwelling unit to accommodate the use other than cosmetic and safety improvements or historic rehabilitation.
Yes.
Are you doing any work to the
No,
outside?
no. Anything.
The use shall be actively operated by a permanent resident of the dwelling. You said that's you. You'll be the one
Yes.
who's operating it. The use shall comply with any applicable state and federal regulations, including have an appropriate State Department of Public Welfare registration certificates and other licenses. You will
Yes.
obtain those licenses.
Yes.
You shall include a secure fence around any outdoor area that are routinely used for outdoor play. Are any areas proposed for outdoor play?
That's the plan. Yeah.
And you will have fencing around.
I don't have fence in one of the side,
Will you?
but we're working on it.
Well, but it's not working on. You will put in the fencing as required by the ordinance.
Yes.
Where permitted by special exception. Yeah, so we talked about the fencing. The applicant shall describe the methods that will be used to contain the disposal of used diapers in a sanitary manner that will not create a nuisance for the neighbors.
Yes.
So how are you going to take care of diapers and trash?
Well, we have a company for our waste, so that'll be adjust with them. I didn't know about it, to be honest, but they my neighbors. They own that company, so I will ask them how do we do with the diapers, because my daughters I just put like with their waste normally, but like in another bags and separate.
So it sounds like you're going to contract separately from your regular trash for the disposal of diapers through a third party.
If I have to.
Well, again, ma'am,
Yeah.
it's not a
Mhm.
question of if you have
Yeah.
to, you
Mhm.
will. The use shall provide for a convenient and safe pickup and drop-off area for children. Can you describe how children will be safely picked up and dropped off?
We have a driveway,
How
and-
many cars can fit in the driveway?
2 at a time, and they can enter by the garage because that is separate. It entered because I will be using the first floor, the B label, so they will enter from the garage directly to the place I have for them,
So
the area.
Am I correct in saying that there's 2 garage bays on the property?
Yes.
And then how many cars can fit in the driveway at any given time?
It's big. So my husband have a truck, like a GMC truck, and I have a SUV, and we still have a space. So let's say 2 at a time.
In addition to the ones in the garage?
Yeah.
And then it looks like there's a little bit of area on the picture behind those, but they would be stacked in.
Yeah.
Will the use cause any adverse problems in terms of traffic in the neighborhood?
No.
Sorry, 1 second, please. Will the use substantially change the character of any surroundings of the neighborhood?
No.
Will the use have any adverse impact on public health, safety, or for items such as fire safety, toxic or hazardous materials?
No.
You're certainly not going to have that with a daycare, I hope. And the proposed use, there's no sensitive environmental resources on the lot?
No.
So happy.
All right. Open up to questions from the board.
I just have a question of the hours that you're going to be running the family daycare?
We're thinking about 7:30 to 5.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
To hop on the question, is that Monday through Friday?
Yes.
And is that all year round?
Yeah.
I don't, any questions from the members of the audience?
Once again, it's Joel Hoffner, Hoffner, 1806 East Hill Drive. Can you again clarify how many children you expect to be
4
hosting?
to 6.
4 to 6. And of the 4 to 6, how many are yours?
I have 3, but
So-
2 of them go to school.
So there'll be
One.
like three additional typically.
Sir, I just want to clarify that what the ordinance said when I read it earlier is that the 4 to 6 is in addition to her own children.
Oh, in addition to,
It-
so that's where
yeah.
the 7 to 12 number comes in, that was stated in the zoning variance?
So let me answer, because this is more a question for the city than for her. Originally, when she contacted the city to determine what number would be permitted as a special exception inside this property, the city took the position that it would be 7 to 12 initially, based off some very preliminary information. After the city looked at it, and after she, having done nothing wrong, submitted the application in reliance upon what she'd been told, the city re-reviewed the application, the ordinance, and told her that the 7 to 12 would not be permitted on this property. So she's reduced the request to be, that's where the 4 to 6 number comes from.
Okay,
So the 7, we apologize for that confusion. It's just the way that was advertised.
sure. And what do you anticipate the ages of the children to be?
Um,
Oh,
maybe toddlers, because that's when we need assistance with like mothers, like we need to take the kids like maybe 2 to 5, 1 to 5, something like that.
And do you anticipate that some or all of the children may have to take naps on the second floor at some point?
No, because I have a plenty space on the building.
There's enough space.
Mhm.
You have enough space on the first floor for the
Yes.
children to play and nap.
Yes.
I'll reserve my statements for later.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
I have a quick question. Is it regulated for daycares to have carbon monoxide monitors?
The state, yeah, under the PAUCC, the state will require
That
carbon
would apply
monoxide.
to this?
Yes,
Okay.
that would apply to any.
Are you aware
any
of
type
that?
Daycare.
Yes.
Okay.
If there's no further questions, any statements?
Sir, I'm sorry, you're saying question or statement?
Statement.
Come on up.
My name is Joseph McKitka. I live at 1761 Johnston Drive in
Sir,
Bethlehem.
Can you just favor spell your name, please?
Pardon?
Spell it as well, please.
MIKITKA.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I'm testing in opposition to the opposed daycare facility in our residential area. Introducing commercial or institutional use such as a daycare center fundamentally changes the residential character of our community. Our streets are quiet and our neighborhood is designed to support family living. Allowing a daycare will increase traffic during pickup and drop-off hours, create noise throughout the day, and diminish the peacefulness of the neighborhood. I am retired myself. My wife is retired. We are apt to sleep to 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. As she said, at 7:30, the daycare would enter with the slamming of doors, the screaming and crying of children, perhaps, which would once again disturb the atmosphere of the neighborhood. Daycare operations typically result in high pedestrian and vehicle traffic, especially during the morning and afternoon transition periods. This increases the risk of accidents in the neighborhood that is not designed for such use. Furthermore, there is limited off-street parking in the in their driveways. As she stated, it can only hold 2 cars in addition to hers. It can lead to congestion and hazardous condition for the children and for the parents dropping them off. I'd like to also remind everyone that Johnson Drive is a thoroughfare for Freedom High School, East Hills Middle School, the vocational VOTEC, and also Our Lady Perpetual Help, which means the buses run up and down that street at the times that she's getting kids in and getting kids out, which increases the hazard. Also, the presence of a daycare could reduce property values. Real estate data suggests that buyers are less inclined to purchase homes adjacent to businesses, especially those, excuse me, with high noise and traffic impacts, thus potentially affecting home ownership equity and overall desirability of the neighborhood. Enforcement of oversight of child care facilities, especially home-based operations, have been problematic in Pennsylvania. Recent investigations found hundreds of unlicensed providers statewide, increased density and lack of oversight in residential areas, and raised concerns about compliance with health, safety, and welfare standards. There are locations in Bethlehem better suited for daycare operations. Childcare is available near our location. There's a Lightbridge Academy at 3001 Linden Street, which is literally 3 blocks from our house. There's Learning and Experience Child Daycare at 2955 Linden Street, which is across the parking lot from the Lightbridge Academy. And 5 minutes down the road, the Sayre Child Center at 349 Hamilton Avenue provides childcare. Such an existing commercial or mixed use districts where childcare is available is provided within close proximity to our location. This proposal is not a hardship that necessitates a zoning variance or an exception. Rather, it is an avoidable conflict with established zoning interests in our neighborhood. If the board looks in their history, you will see that the property at 1732 East Hills Drive had applied for child daycare. That is the property, East Hill Drive, the homes on East Hill Drive abut the homes on Johnston Drive. And it's literally 2 doors down. That's on the corner of Lucas and East Hills Drive. That home applied for daycare and was turned down. Once again, we feel it's a dangerous area to have children entering and leaving. For those reasons, I ask that you deny the request. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Again, Joel Hoffner. First of all, let me say I have the greatest respect for people that care for children. My wife has 6. We have 9 grandchildren, 3 great-grandchildren. It's a hell of a responsibility. And I fear for the safety of children in any home that borders Johnson Drive. It's basically a racetrack. I can't officially clock people that go through there, but I know that I've seen cars going through there consistently at 60 miles an hour. It's going to be imperative that you have a fence across the front of your property between your building and the sides so that children can't wander out. I'd really be concerned about that possibly happening. It was just 2 nights ago that I was walking this same road and 2 distraught grandparents came out of a house desperately trying to find 2 young children of the toddler age that had wandered out of their backyard because they knew that this road is a real hazard. So I want to underscore the fact that that fence has to be a primary objective before you start working with these young kids. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yep.
Once again, Joseph McKitka from 1761 Johnston Drive. If you bring up the picture of the properties, okay. If the home to the right of 1751 is my home, the line of arborvitae she is claiming as a fence. First of all, the arborvitae you can crawl through for children can crawl through very easily. Second of all, the arborvitae on my property, they're 40 years old. They may be removed at any time because I can't take care of them anymore. So the fact that there's a fence there, she's claiming a fence on 2 sides, and there is no fence on the other sides. Those are trees. The same thing in the back. There are arborvitae, that is not a fence, and there are large holes that children can crawl through. So once again, the need for a fence is of utmost importance. Secondly, she said she's not using the 2nd floor. If we look at PA Code 3270, section excuse me, let me look at this.
So while you're looking for that, let me make one comment.
Pardon?
To the extent that you were talking about the line of trees,
Yes.
the ordinance says that it must be a fence.
Okay.
In her test, a fence has a definition under the city ordinances. I heard a concern relative to that earlier. That is a requirement of the ordinance.
Okay.
So she can't count, and I don't think she can speak for herself, but when the city goes in relative to inspections on it, it will need to have a fence. So
Okay.
not a row of trees, not a row of arborvitae's. It'll
Okay.
have to meet that definition.
Okay. Okay. Now, she's claiming she's going to have up to 7 toddlers. Okay. The section 3270.62, measurement and use of play space. That for toddlers, you need to have 50 square feet of play space within the house. For infants, you need 40 square feet. She claims she's only going to use the downstairs, but 7 times 50 square feet is 350 feet. Let me see what her present. Originally, she said 10.
Yeah. And again, let me skip
Right.
the part.
I
of the story on
understand
this.
that.
So
Looking for-
one of the requirements of the ordinance is that she will need to obtain all permits required from the state. The zoning hearing board cannot render opinions about
Well,
what amount of play area is required and things like that. So just be aware that, I mean, she'll need those permits. That's a requirement of the city. She'll have to obtain those licenses, but the board cannot really deeply consider state requirements.
thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
I'm assuming there's no parking along Johnston Street. I see parking along Lucas, but not on Johnston. Is that correct? Street parking?
We're using our driveways, but we have a space in the street, but we never park in there. Like for my own car, like my husband's car.
There's no curb parking along Johnson
No.
parallel. Okay.
Any other comments, questions? Oh,
Oh,
I'm behind the dais. I'm hiding.
there is.
sorry about that.
There is curb parking.
Yeah.
My name is
Okay, it's just
Joe.
this aerial has no cars there. That's why.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
curb.
Okay. So there is. All right.
My name is Joe. My last name is Domiter, Domiter. I'm at 1762 Johnston Drive. My only comment or my comments is ditto of what Joe said. And I would like to say that it is a lot of traffic. The buses come from Freedom, the Penn, the bus pen, up Johnson Drive at 6:30, 7 in the morning, and again at maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon for pickups. So it's very, very busy. And again, what Joe said, a lot of traffic, and with us being retired, it'd be a lot noisy. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. One final statement or question to the board. Is this considered a commercial enterprise?
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is there's a schedule of uses in the zoning ordinance. That you can find a zoning officer afterwards, he can show it to you. And what it says is within each zoning district, it says what uses are permitted, both residential and commercial. This use is designated as being what is called a special exception.
Accessory.
As an accessory use. So she's not seeking a variance. She doesn't have to prove a hardship. All she has to prove is that she meets the requirements of the ordinance. So would it be identified as commercial enterprise? It is an accessory use to a residential use is my understanding.
So an associated question. If a person, an occupant applied for, let's say, a barber shop, a nail salon, a beauty salon, would that be a similar kind of a variance?
Yeah, I mean, we can go down a black hole of it. I mean, there's identified accessory uses that are allowed in specific zoning districts. This one is allowed as an accessory use in this district. I have no idea if barber shop or other ones would be allowed. You'd have to look at the ordinance relative to those.
Okay, the reason for my question is this has been a residential community for, well, I've been there since 1978, and it was in existence 5 to 6 years earlier. It's been solely residential. If another enterprise gets introduced into the neighborhood, is this the beginning of a slippery slope? Does it open up the possibility of barbershops and nail salons and beauty shops and things like that?
And again, all the board can do is look at the ordinance. And once it's permitted in the district, they have to look at the ordinance relative to each individual use. They can't consider what may come next. They look at this use as permitted under this ordinance as it stands right now. We don't know what would happen since then.
Understood. That's with respect to the property we're discussing tonight.
I
I'm
think
saying-
what you're describing, she would have to be here for a use variance. She's not asking for a use variance. He's trying to explain to you what a special exception is. It's not going to open the floodgates for commercial uses in a residential zone.
Okay, so it's a different category than a commercial enterprise.
Yeah, that's not right. You see the zoning officer nodding his head. I mean, you'd have to talk to him about that.
So what I'm asking then is approving this doesn't open up the gateway for other commercial enterprises to begin operating in other properties.
All the board can look at tonight is this application. It doesn't set any precedent that can be used on anyone else.
Okay.
All the board cares about is her property for this use.
Okay, so the denial of the similar request a few years ago, does that set a precedent or not?
I need to tell you something. We really shouldn't be having like a question answer like this because I mean the questions go to her. But I understand you're asking.
Oh, but that's a question for the board.
Yeah, the board can't answer questions of that nature. What I would tell you is prior zoning decisions are not precedential. They don't bind the board. The board doesn't know what that prior decision said. That one could have been for 12 kids. That one could have been for any, may not have complied with other requirements. The board doesn't know. All we can look at is this application as it stands right now.
As it's related to the
So
zoning
there's-
ordinance, not
so
any of the other things that she's going to have to get approval for.
Exactly right.
Just what's in the zoning. Like we can't control.
Understood, but in the legal world, precedent is always considered,
Not in zoning. Not in zoning.
always looks
This is
at
not-
precedent.
I can tell you definitively, I'm a zoning attorney. I'm advising them that zoning cases are not precedential.
Oh, okay, well, you know your business better than I do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other statements or questions?
Ma'am, is there anything you want to add?
That's it.
All right, this time will go off the record.
Microphones are coming back up.
All right. At this time, we'll go back on the record.
Yep. So the board has asked me to articulate a motion on their behalf. So the board, the motion that will be either presented or seconded is that the special exception be approved as requested, subject to compliance with all building permit code requirements, health and safety requirements, and state permitting be met.
So do we also need a motion?
Yeah, so just someone to say motion as stated.
Motion as stated.
A second?
Second.
Mr. Schneck,
Yes.
Ms. Wiles Young,
Yes.
Dr. Van Wert.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
And if you objected tonight, you spoke at the microphone, you have your address on that paper, you'll get a copy of the written decision that will have the board's decision. All right, so please make sure you sign that if you did not. All right. Congratulations.
Thank
You'll get a
you.
written decision within 45 days.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you. I will. That was nice meeting you.
All right. Next appeal up is 567 Hillside Avenue.
567 Hillside Avenue, and again, I apologize if I say the name wrong. Appeal of Lewis and Tilly on behalf of Fifth Street Hillside LLC. Applicant seeks a dimensional variance to locate two single-family semi-detached dwellings, twins, on proposed lot with less than the required lot width. 30 feet per dwelling unit required, 20 feet per dwelling unit proposed, and a variance to permit stacked parking on a lot containing more than a one-family dwelling, or an interpretation that section 131903B is not applicable to this proposal. Sections 1302.40C, 1306.01A4, 131903B, 1325.06, and all associated variances, special exceptions, and interpretations.
All right. And before we get going, can you confirm when the property was posted?
Yes. I posted the property on September 8th and emailed Mr. Taylor.
Thank you. You can proceed with your testimony.
Thank you very much. My name is Leo DeVito. I represent the owners of the property, Fifth Street Hillside LLC. Here, I know Mr. Preston was listed on the application. I'm here on his stead as he has a conflict. This application involves the property located at 567 Hillside Avenue in the city of Bethlehem. I have a packet of exhibits I'd like to hand out to the board if that's okay.
Thank you.
Do you want me to just pass them down?
As explained in the advertisement read by your zoning officer, we're here tonight to seek a variance, a dimensional variance as it relates to lot width. You'll see through and hear through the testimony that existing on the property at 567 Hillside Avenue is a dilapidated, unsafe, not only single-family home, but also a garage. It's on it currently stands on an existing lot that pre-existed zoning. We're not making any non-conformant arguments, but we are proposing to raise the existing building and garage, and in its place construct a single-family semi-detached dwelling. The property is located in the city's RT high-density residential district and also the student housing overlay zoning district, and is located near Lehigh University. With that, I would like to call Mr. Louis Intile, manager of Fifth Street Hillside LLC. Mr. Intile, would you please introduce yourself to the zoning hearing board this evening?
Sure. Louis Intile, owner and manager at Fifth Street Hillside LLC.
and is Fifth Street Hillside LLC the owner of the legal owner of the property 567 Hillside Avenue?
Yes.
All right. Would you explain to the members of the zoning hearing board what you are proposing for construction on the Hillside Avenue property?
Consistent, as you see from the picture there, consistent with surrounding properties in the neighborhood. We would like to demolish the dilapidated single-family home and replace it with a semi-detached single-family semi-detached and/or twin dwelling, very similar to what you see on the first page of the packet here.
All right. And the first page on the packet, what is that showing the members of the zoning hearing board?
We are currently working on the elevation and architectural design, and it's also very similar to other properties that we've completed in the city on similar size, if not smaller lots, at 302, 304 East 5th Street and 502, 504 East 5th Street.
And the variance for the dimensional variance that you're seeking, what is the width of the existing lot?
40 feet.
And you know how deep that lot is?
150 feet.
All right. And other than that dimensional variance, are you seeking, and we'll talk about parking, we'll park that to the side, no pun intended, but are you seeking any other dimensional variances?
No.
Would you flip to the second page of our packet, please?
Yes.
It says figure 1.
Mhm.
Would you explain to the members of the zoning hearing board what's depicted in those photographs?
So it is a picture of the current home that exists on the property. It's about, I would say it was built around 1900 or the turn of the century. We found it it's in a complete state of disrepair with just deteriorating or collapsed back steps, significant roof leaks, 100-year-old wiring. There are foundation issues in the basement, so there's moisture and evidence of deterioration. Unfortunately, the prior owner did not have the means to maintain the property, both financially and or physically towards the end, and it fell into a very deep state of disrepair.
And if you flip to the second page, figure 2, or the third page, I'm sorry, figure 2, what is depicted or shown in figure 2?
You can see the rear garage that is approximately 36, in excess of 36 feet wide and 30 feet deep. And over towards the left of the garage above the window, you can see that the roof has begun to cave in all the way to the center. So it's also in a state of disrepair.
And if you flip to the next, showing figure 3, what does that show us?
It shows the existing extra wide 3-car garage that exists, and also that there is a full apron and curb cut along the entire alley, which is Park Hill Street in the back.
It also shows some cracking in some of the facade. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, if we flip to figure 4, there are 2 photographs. What does figure 4 show us?
This shows the interior of the property, 100-year-old exposed wiring. The kitchen is quite old, peeling paint, bad flooring, and a very functionally obsolete floor plan with very narrow hallways and stairwells. On the upper floors, we found that there's extremely low ceilings, extremely narrow hallways, and particularly steep and narrow stairwells with small windows. So I know, after doing many of these projects, the city of Bethlehem has made a push right now with greater attention to ceiling height, hallway width, and egress windows, and that makes this very challenging to comply with.
All right. When you say comply with, you mean from the code compliance?
Correct.
All right. If we flip to the next page, what is shown on those photographs?
It's the single existing bathroom with a cracked toilet, missing tiles. The bathroom fixtures are leaking into the kitchen on the stove down below. So again, in disrepair.
If we flip to the next page, figure 6, would you explain to the members of the zoning hearing board what is shown on figure 6?
So in figure 6, on the left of the picture here is the Zollner Art Center, the Lehigh University Art Galleries, and towards the bottom of the page, just on Centennial Drive, are the lower Centennial dormitories for Lehigh University. Over on the right-hand side, about 3/4 of the block away is in the red rectangle. There is the subject property. And from the aerial, you can see along Hillside Avenue that almost every other property is a single family semi-detached twin dwelling or a single family row home, with the exception of the triangle of land along Ryan Street, right in the center, which is owned by Lehigh University.
You're aware this property is located in the Student Housing Overlay District?
Yes,
Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And as part of the showing or the reason for Figure 6, to indicate and demonstrate to the zoning hearing board that the subject property is located within the Student Housing Overlay District.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, if we go to Figure 7 for a moment and the 4 photographs shown on Figure 7, what are they showing us?
That is the streetscape up and down Hillside Avenue, where there are multiple single-family semi-detached twin dwellings, with the exception of the lower right picture. You see on the left, the red brick are 2 single-family semi-detached twin dwellings. However, those in the center there are a bit narrower. Those are single-family row homes, so it's a little bit denser.
With the single-family twin that you are proposing, would that be consistent with the character of the neighborhood?
Correct.
Now, on Figure 8, you have what is the housing stock of the 500 block of Hillside.
Correct.
Can you explain to the members of the zoning hearing board what this Figure 8 shows us?
So along Hillside Avenue, the first block adjacent to the university, there are 40 tax parcels. The green are 29 parcels, have single-family semi-detached twins. The yellow in the middle of the block, those are 8 single-family attached row homes, so those are a bit denser. There is 1 single-family detached property, which is designated by the red square, which is the subject property we are here for today. And again, on the left, that the 2 parcels that comprise that triangle piece is vacant land owned by Lehigh University.
So as the property exists today, is the existing building on 567 Hillside Avenue the only single-family home on that block of Hillside?
Correct.
Now, if we turn to Figure 9 for a moment, would you tell us what Figure 9 shows us?
This was a project in 2020 at 545 Hillside Avenue, showing that there was a small house on a double lot, which was then replaced by a single-family semi-detached dwelling. And in the spirit of the student housing overlay, just to take a step back, the intent of the overlay district was to designate, as the student housing spread farther and farther away from the university, it was impacting residential neighborhoods on the south side. So the intent of the student housing overlay zone was to designate where students were allowed to live in an attempt to bring that back closer to campus. So here, this project, what essentially it did was take one single small house, which looks from the picture like a 3-bedroom, and replace it with 10 beds. So in the zone, you are now creating 7 net new beds, theoretically bringing that expansion of the student housing that pushed into the residential neighborhoods back closer to the university and inside the zone.
And will you also explain now the next series of photographs contained on Figure 10, please?
Sure. Figure 10 is a similar facade and floor plan and parking area that we are proposing just up the street. And you'll see, and we'll talk about later, the way that the parking area is designated in the rear. And it's all in line with, as you look down on the top left, as it's all in line with all of the other single-family semi-detached and maintaining the streetscape.
Before we go further, have you investigated the economic feasibility of rehabilitating the existing structure and garage on the property?
We did.
What was the result of that investigation?
It would be would not be financially feasible to renovate the existing structure, and actually to try to repair the foundation wall. It might not be physically possible without destroying the structure.
All right. So now if we turn to figure 11 on the next page, what does that show us?
This is a project that we completed through a different entity, our Fifth Street Properties. There was a vacant lot on the corner of East Fifth Street and Fillmore, again, also in the zone. And we completed this project about a year and a half ago. So you can see the vacant lot on the left, and it was replaced with the single-family semi-detached twin dwelling on the right. And this is something that's very similar to what we propose for the 567 property. And again, in the spirit of the student housing overlay district, taking vacant properties or increasing density inside the zone allows that pressure to be relieved, or even better, remove students that expanded during COVID and bring them back into the student housing district.
When you purchased the property, the subject property at 567 Hillside, was there any way for you to increase the lot width when you purchased that home?
No.
Did you have anything to do with the design of the actual layout, physical width, depth of that lot?
No.
Is it reasonable to construct the twin home that you're seeking to construct on this property? Does it make economic sense to do so?
The twin dwelling, yes.
Yes, the twin dwelling. Okay. Figure 12, the next page contains a site plan. Would you explain that site plan to the members of the zoning hearing board, please?
This is the existing condition site plan showing the current structure close to the property line and the adjacent properties and the garage in the rear.
Now let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about parking. What is the proposed parking if you are granted the variance necessary to construct the new homes on the property?
So the rear garage has, actually the rear garage is in excess of 36 feet wide and 30 feet deep with an approximately 8-foot apron. So we propose demolishing the garage, ultimately keeping that area because the ordinance requires that spaces be 9 feet by 18 so that we can provide more parking in the rear on the existing footprint of the garage and the apron. So the code for standard residential is 2 spaces per dwelling for a total for the student housing overlay requires an additional space on top of that for 3 spaces per dwelling. And we believe that we can exceed that. And as we've shown on other figures in the presentation, particularly on page, excuse me. I apologize here. In figure 10, increasing the parking area on the existing floor plate of the garage would allow for 8 parking spaces, 4 designated for 567 Hillside and 4 designated for 569 Hillside.
No, Mr. Intar, when you say designated, although not necessarily shown on figure 13, would there be signage identifying the parking spaces for each of the units?
So it is shown on figure 13, but I am remiss that it was not included on the site plan submitted. But there is that imaginary line between the 2 units where we will designate that all 4 of those stacked cars go with the single family home at 567, and the other 4 cars will go with the single family attached for 569 Hillside.
All right. And will you contain references in your, are you going to lease these, I assume?
Correct.
Will you contain references in your leases indicating what parking is delegated to which of the buildings?
Correct.
And if somebody were to ignore that and park inappropriately, technically they could be considered trespassers and their vehicles towed. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the signs would indicate that it's parking for either one or the other and that all other vehicles will be towed. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And so we're clear. You are this building that you propose to construct is are 1-family dwellings each. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And if we look at the affected section, of Article 1319.03 B, it reads, parking areas shall be designed to permit each motor vehicle to proceed to and from the parking space provided for it without requiring the moving of any other motor vehicle except for parking for one-family dwellings. So when you read that, do you believe that these are one-family dwellings?
Yes.
And therefore, the stacked parking prohibition contained in the zoning ordinance would not apply to this building. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. That's all we have, Mr. Intal.
All right. About questions from the board?
How many bedrooms in each of the units?
Each unit will be 5 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms.
Okay. And you have a lot more experience dealing with students and parking.
Yes.
I did see there's a shot that you gave us, Dave, of the backyards of the entire row. If you look at the house next door, the parking is not stacked. It's pull in parallel, but it's a lot of loss of green space. It's inefficient.
Mhm.
Why would you choose stacked parking over the type that's next door, which is a kind of a vertical pull-in type parking?
It drives me nuts that there's so much coverage. I think in an urban environment, maintaining some yard gives a lot more, it makes the property a lot more desirable.
I just worry, and I think that this ordinance B here, 1319 something B, says that because I think when you do have students who have to move cars, that pushes people out and parking on the street. It's just so much easier to park on the street than deal with the hassle of moving a car.
It's actually, they're going to park on the street anyway, right? So what we try to do is, and from our experience, I mean, we've been in student housing for probably 20 years. And I would say when we started early 2003 to 2005, if you looked at the data that we tracked with hundreds of tenants, there were about 4.2 cars per 5-person house. I think it dropped to under 3 during COVID, but it's probably 3.5 now. And what you see is oftentimes, and my maintenance staff will attest to this because they have to jump batteries, but within a household, students don't want their cars on the street, but they need a place to put their car. So oftentimes those individuals they walk to class, whereas you may be living with a roommate, maybe an athlete that needs to go up and over the hill. So those individuals with the stacked car will be the ones that use it much less frequently than those that do. So we found that, if the existing area there could accommodate the 8 cars, it would be better than having, the same number of students and the same number of cars. It'd be better to have more off-street spaces to alleviate the pressure of, in the neighborhood.
Okay.
And
So
also, just to answer your question, I don't know how that parking lot exists. So that probably was done 50 years ago and certainly wouldn't be allowed today.
There's a different view of the whole block from an aerial view up above. And you can see there's another stacked parking like down the block. I think there it is with the blue house. Do you own that house?
I
too?
do not own that house, no.
But they're doing the same thing there.
Mhm. And across the street too, if you look at if you go a little bit farther north the area, you'll see stacked parking in the backs there too as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I agree with what you're saying about the density of the student housing overlay district, and the purpose of it was to push this pressure back into a discrete neighborhood. So I can see your point there. It's just I don't know what parking is like in this neighborhood. If it's a pressure-filled situation or not. How would you describe it?
Having more off-street parking is always best in this neighborhood. It is constrained, albeit there aren't many residents that still live in this district. Inside the district, I would say that there's only a handful, but parking can be an issue there for sure. So we thought that given the existing footprint of the garage, we would knock the actual building and structure down because it cracked walls, collapsed ceiling, resurface the existing area and repurpose it for up to 8 cars.
Okay, that's all my questions. Thank you.
Sure.
What, it almost seems like there was room for building to the left in this photo. Was there anything there ever? Do you know?
I do not know. No, I do know that the current owner who passed was in excess of 90 years old and lived there for some time. So I think it's been this single family home for quite some time.
Are you going to commit to keeping that street tree?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless the arborist says that, city forester says that we can't, but yeah.
Any other questions? Any questions from the audience?
I think they're all with us at this.
All right.
I would move formally, I would move for the admission of our packet, our exhibits. Thank you.
Are you
We're
good?
done.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Oh, I have one last question.
Sure.
Your renderings of the building include a railing along the front, but the other ones that you built do not, and I think they're sorely lacking without them. So you're committing to build this as
The figure 11, the one we built, that it would look very similar to that with the hip roof and the railing. That one we built.
11.
Sorry.
Yeah, that one has the railing. Okay. The other ones that you showed did not.
Yeah,
so-
this will railing, shutters, etc.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. We'll go off the record.
Thank you.
Computers are back on. Microphones are coming up.
All right.
There they are.
We'll go back on the record. And if I can have a motion from a member of the board.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the variances as requested with a condition of building to this rendering on the front of your exhibit.
And I second.
Mr. Schneck,
Yes.
Dr. Van Wert,
Yes.
Ms. Wild Young,
Yes.
motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Mhm.